90% of creators quit within their first year, and it's not because they run out of ideas, it's because they never discovered what I call the content flywheel, a system that literally makes content create more content. I myself used to spend hours staring at blank screens, wondering what to make next. Then I discovered a system that changed everything. Once I implemented it, I went from struggling for ideas to generating over 100 content concepts in under an hour. So in the next 7 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to build your own content flywheel, starting with the one mistake that's keeping you stuck in the content creation trap. So let me explain what I mean by a content flywheel. It's basically a system where content creates more content. Think of it like a wheel that gets easier to spin as more momentum as it gets. But most creators work like this. They make a video, it gets some views, they feel good, and then they start from zero again with the next video. And that's kind of exhausting. It really is. And eventually it brings you to the point where you don't know what to make next. I speak from experience. But successful creators, they build systems where one piece of content naturally leads to the next one, where their audience actually helps them create more content, where making videos becomes easier over time and not harder. But here's the trap that a lot of creators like to fall into. They make their first video about, let's say, productivity tips, and it does exceptionally well. But guess what? Now they're thinking about the next video and come up with something like why you should read books. Well, that's obviously something very different. And honestly, that's where the struggle begins. They're constantly reinventing the wheel instead of building on what actually already works. Another reason is also that they are afraid of being boring. They think if they keep talking about the same topic, people will get tired of them. But that's not how it works. Your audience follows you because they care about the topic that you're talking about. They want to go deeper and not wider. And even if you would create the exact same content as 6 months ago, it wouldn't really matter because your audience constantly changes. New people come in who haven't seen the old content. But here's what I've figured out. The best creators don't just make content, they create content systems. So let's break this down. First, they find their core content pillars. Not 10 different subtopics, but 2 to 3 core pillars that they can explore from different angles. They also don't talk about all of them at the same time, one pillar for a few months and then the next one, and then they rotate. Second, they batch their content ideation. It's extremely hard coming up every day with new ideas. They don't have to. They batch their ideation process and generate dozens of content ideas in 1 hour or less. Third, they let their audience guide them. Every comment, question, or performance indicator shapes their direction, because the best indicator of what people want to see is your audience itself. Fourth, they reference their own work over and over again. They're constantly referencing previous videos or other related content. This then results also in more views for the other content as well. And it gives this cohesive look for the entire brand. And that's how the flywheel starts spinning. Each piece of content makes the next one easier to create. So here's how you actually build this system for yourself. Believe me, it's worth investing some time into this because it really saves you a lot of time. First, you want to create a dream avatar of your audience. You want to describe your dream avatar in as much detail as possible. Often, it helps to think of a past version of yourself that struggled with the topics that you're currently covering. I'll show you here some questions you can answer to define your dream avatar. Now think about clear problems your dream avatar has. Just write down everything that comes to your mind. You can also give your dream avatar description to ChatGPT and ask it to come up with problems they might face. Then boil it down to 2 to 3 core problems that are most significant. Next, find solution to these problems. What are the different ways to solve it? What question do people have about it? These solutions are your content pillars. Write them down and revisit them anytime you generate new content ideas. Now it's time to generate content ideas. This step is very powerful and allows you to come up with dozens of topics in less than an hour. First, choose one of your content pillars to start with. Then set yourself a timer for 10 minutes and try to come up with as many ideas as you can. This doesn't need to be a specific format yet, it's just about the idea itself. After those 10 minutes, you should at least have like 15 ideas written down. Now the magic happens. For each of these ideas, write down 3 subtopic ideas that could be your own piece of content itself. And then we repeat this again for these subtopics. This really forces you to think deeper about each topic and multiplies all your ideas. And now you should have at least 100 pieces of content ready to make. Worth noting is also, not every idea has to be a full-length YouTube video. This could be a simple written X-post, Instagram reel, or a different chapter for a long-form video. Also, track what your audience responds to. All you need to do is now to keep producing these content pieces and see what works and what doesn't. Do this at least for 60 days and analyze after which content achieved the best results. Now you know exactly what to focus on for the next 60 days. It's also important that every piece of content should feel like it belongs to the same universe as your other content. It's kind of obvious that you shouldn't make cooking content when you actually talk about productivity, but it's quick to slip into a complete different niche. So be aware of that and check frequently in with your content pillars. And see, here's what happens when you stick stick to this approach. Your first video might get 100 views. Your 10th video might get 500 views. And your 50th video might get 5k views. Some do well and others don't. In fact, the majority won't do exceptionally well. That's just a fact. But those few that are doing well make you the leader in your space. And because you haven't just made a single lucky video about the topic, you're the person that talks about that topic. You have built authority, trust, and a genuine following of people who care about what you have to say. It's almost like you own this topic. As example, if someone mentions productivity to me, Ali Abdaal comes almost instantly to my mind. Or systems, it's Matt Gray. You can become the one person owning that space. So stop trying to reinvent yourself every week. Pick your lane, go deep, and let your content create more content. Build that flywheel that gives you momentum, and remember, consistency beats creativity every single time.